Good afternoon, outliers. Oh my goodness. I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Hope everything is going great for you. Let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into it. Let's see who's here. Mikey Mike is here. Heck Tech is here. ESAT says, nice shirt. No, ESAT, you got a nice shirt, my friend. You got a nice shirt, my friend. All right. We're going to jump into this video. This video is called $75 and this one stock will surpass your full-time job. Can you believe it? $75 and this stock is going to surpass your full-time job. Now, Tom Nass actually watches our channel. He's commented before. So, Tom, how you doing? That's a very clickbaity title you got there. Thomas is here. Christian's here. Adam's here. Good afternoon to you, my friend. Peter from the Netherlands. Ross. Where's Bob? We got Ross, but we don't have Bob. Oh, ESAT just watched it. Bjorn, how are you doing? Glad you made it. Alan. Sean from UK. Evening, morning, afternoon, all. Time for Guinness. That's what time it is. Coach B. Heyo. Joe. Dude. That is a cool profile picture. I got to admit. Nathan, you've been leaving some pretty sick comments lately with the only price pays everywhere. Dude, I love it. Thank you so much. Pixel Mac. Hey, J-Mac here. Pixel J-Mac. J-Pixel Mac. All the pixels, all the Macs are here. That is a Mini Cooper in your profile picture there. I would know because I had a Mini Cooper Countryman for 8 years. I loved that car. One of my all-time had-to-have cars was a Mini Cooper. And when I had the opportunity to get one, I definitely did. Nathan says, no, I'm a big fan of you. I'm definitely a big fan of that tuxedo you're wearing. Pixel Mac, I'm not consistent. That's okay. Let's do this. Let's watch $75. And this one stock will surpass your full-time job.
And they had a huge beat on the free cash flow. Now, the question of the day is Tesla a huge buy at $400 after these earnings, or did this change anything? Now, I'm going to give you a little spoiler here. As always, I'm not going to hold you hostage, and that means you don't have to click nothing, smash nothing, nor buy nothing. So I'm going to give away the bottom line first, which is that Tesla is going to at least triple from here quite easily, and it's going to make a lot of people very wealthy, as long as such people are patient enough, okay? Now, if you have a few minutes, I suggest you stay, because I have a lot to cover given what we've seen and heard yesterday from the earnings, and given what the general sentiment in the market is right now. Now, here's the thing. Currently trading at $400, Tesla is not a cheap stock. I get it. But let's kind of segregate it to the bad and the good, right? Obviously, we have the bad. We can't ignore it. You know, the automotive revenues are declining year over year for the first time, right? We have a massive PE of 170, which is not something that we should absolutely ignore. I get it. And we have margins decline. Okay, I get it, right? That means that the company is expensive. That means that the Chinese competitors are basically gaining ground on Tesla, which is something you can see in the margins decline and the revenue decline. And obviously, that's not a good thing for Tesla. But then again, there's also the flip side of this whole story, which is that a lot of investors, especially value investors, especially certain type of analysts, they completely misunderstand Tesla, and they fail to do so over the past 5 years. All
right, I'm going to go ahead and stop them there. And I'm going to give you some perspective, right? If you consider yourself a value investor, what does that mean? Does that mean to you that you like to buy stocks that are beat up in price, right? I would consider myself a value investor because I feel that the value that I'm buying it today as price is increasing is only going to go up. So if you're going to label yourself a value investor, what does that actually mean? Are you looking for something like AMD? Let's go to AMD chart real quick. Are you looking for something like AMD that has been just destroyed, right? Is this a good value to you? And if you are a value investor, where on this downward trend was the value? Enlighten me. Where on this trend was the value? Was it 160, 150, 140, 130, 120, 115? I like to bring up AMD because this is one that I see so many people talking about. And yet, I wouldn't buy this with your money. There's no way. I would never touch this. Now, Tesla's a different story. And I don't own any Tesla stock, but I do own a Tesla Model Y Performance. That thing is freaking sick, all right? I have to keep it in chill mode all the time because it is so damn fast that like the regular mode is sport mode, And it's 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, right? When I was a kid, that was supercar territory. Now it's family car territory. It has 5 seats. It has a front and a back trunk. And my kids think it's the coolest car in the world. And I absolutely love it. But at one point I did have a Mini Cooper, just like Pixel Mac here. Scottish guy, hit the like button, peeps. But let's take a look at Tesla stock, right? So comparing AMD to Tesla, very apples and oranges. I will absolutely say that. This has been in a beautiful trend, right? You got the outlier trend template, 10 over the 20, price over the 50, all moving in one direction. I did put out a community post. In fact, I'll pull it up here. Put out a community post earlier today saying, I don't think Tesla earnings are going to be all that great based on the price of the stock, based on the stock price here, because it does double overhead resistance, right? Hang on. To click around a whole bunch to get there. Okay. Yeah, I put this out earlier. I said, it's not looking very bullish for Tesla with earnings, right? Double overhead resistance order blocks. The 1020s cross down. This is one I would avoid, even if I were trading with your money. But earnings are always a crapshoot, and they really are, right? As we saw with SoFi, SoFi had great numbers, yet tanked 15%. And it had that overhead resistance, right? Tesla didn't have all the best numbers and is struggling. It's up 4% right now, but struggling to get through this order block right here, right? So where is my head at short term with Tesla? I mean, the trend is sideways and you've got overhead resistance. So like I say, this is one I would not go short or go long. I would actually sit out and not trade it at all. But again, what defines value to you? Is this a value play to you? Because it's not to me, right? But then again, when I traded HSBC, which I got out way too soon, that was a valuable play to me, right? Now, listen, I got out because I thought the market was going to close under the 20-period moving average. And that was a fantastic trade. I made money on it, but I could have made even more money on it. So to me, this is what a value play looks like. When the price of the stock is going up, I want to be on it as it's going up. Because what's happening is all these people are clamoring to buy it. Buy, buy, buy. You got to buy it. You got to buy it. Of course, you got to buy it right now. That's investor psychology at work right there. The same is true if you're trying to find that value stock. The same is true that investor psychology is pushing the price of it down. That's exactly what happened with AMD. So let me catch up on the chat here. Joe has a Model Y and I love it, but in Wisconsin and the battery sucks during winter. Yeah, my first ever range anxiety thing, we were driving to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and I had plenty of range to get there. It said I'd get there with 30% range when I left. For a few minutes down the road, it said 15%. I'm like, whatever. A few minutes further down the road, it actually flashed up a notice on the screen that says, you're not going to make it. You need to turn around, go charge up and try again. And I was like, what? So my wife and I were both taking our cars. And so I had her pull in front of me and I drafted behind her. And there were no superchargers in that area. So that kind of sucked. I would definitely like to see more chargers out there for sure. Ross, almost 100,000 miles on his Model 3. Dude, Teslas are great, aren't they? ESAT, I can't wait for Intel. Heck Tech, 20 over the 10 is no bueno. Leonidas, that is a sick name. You sound like a Greek warrior, my friend. Good to see you. Looking sharp in that picture, by the way. AMD is a value zone, is not in the value zone at the moment. ESAT and AMD earnings. Margin of safety is 1% at the moment. Leonidas. Value is when price is disconnected from its fair market value. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Who decides fair market value? No, you don't actually have to answer. Don't stress on that. But who decides fair market value? I would argue and say market. I would argue and say that this price at $118.95 is fair market value. I would argue and say that Tesla at $405.85 is fair market value. Because this is the market. This is the market. Any calculations you come up with are just spreadsheets, are just numbers on a page. Fair market value is what a buyer and a seller can agree to. And that's exactly what we see right here. So, Leonidas, certainly not a personal attack, but fair market value is what you can get for it, right? Now let's do it a different way, right? Let's do it a different way. Let's say that I wanted to sell my Tesla, right? I could put whatever window sticker I wanted on it, right? Let's say that I put $100,000 on my Tesla window sticker, right? Did I just establish the fair market value? No, I didn't. Because nobody's going to transact with me. The market is where the transactions occur. So I would have to lower the price of that. Let's say I had to sell it at 50,000, right? I may struggle to find a buyer at that level because they could go out and buy a new Tesla for 50,000. So I might have to lower it to 40,000. Then at 40,000, someone might come along and they'd say, you know what? You got a couple scratches on those rims there, Chris, with those stupid, tiny, low profile tires. I'm not going to give you 40. I'm going to give you 32. And I'm like, 32, damn, that's not $8,000 rims, but you know what? I need to sell it. That's market value right there. Because we found a transactionable price. And even though I said right on the top, I did all my calculations and I said, you know what? 100 grand, that's what it should be. If I can't transact with anybody there, it's meaningless, right? Mark to market, in financial terms, mark to market means how much can I get for it at this moment? That's what matters. Because you guys know this. Only price pays. Only price pays. Coach B says, value investing dives into fundamentals, not price action, and are largely contrarian. Interesting. I just went to cash and Tesla because I had the Chris voice telling me that's not in the upward trend this morning. Certainly not. Alan, I'm still in the HSBC trade. Good job, dude. Good job. So I got out, to Alan's point there, I got out on this candle because it looked like it was going to close under the 20. It really rallied back in the last 15 minutes of the day. And I probably would still be holding it just like Alan is. So way to go, dude. I'm glad that that's paying. ESAT, thanks for not making the mistakes I did before. So glad I found it. I'm so glad you found it too. Pixel Mac. If you got out of, say, HSBC and it keeps going up, why not get back in? Because my setup is not there, right? Absolutely could. But for me now, looking at new trades, I don't have setups. And to that point, right? Nobody's going to pressure me to put my money in the market. No, you can't pressure me. You can't tell me this stock is the best stock of all time. You need to buy it. It's not going to happen. It either fits my trading plan or I don't even look at it. So for me, it's just not there, right? The opportunity came, the opportunity went. I made a couple bucks on it, but Alan's making a couple more than I did. So good job, dude. Peter, Valor Data is updating this morning. Are we behind when we traded the day? So the Valor Data, so for example, this will update at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, or no, 10:30 p.m. West Coast time for the next day's buy signals, the next day's sell signals, everything like that. Joe, any thoughts regarding Nike? So, okay, cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's go jump over to Nike. But we got to finish this video. I'll let Tom keep talking here.
Though it was crystal clear what Tesla is and what Tesla isn't. Now, I'm going to share a little conversation I had with you, and that conversation happened in Bangkok. And no, it was completely PG-13. I met up with my good buddy Warren Ridlick, and he told me, look, if you take a look at the street here in Bangkok, there's lots of EVs and barely any Teslas. It's all Chinese. It's all BYD. And
I had this conversation with my kids this morning. My son, I used to ride motorcycles back before my older son was born. I had a Harley Davidson 883 Sportster. My parents actually bought it for me when I still lived at home as a graduation gift. And now as a parent, I'm like, what kind of crazy idea is that to buy an 18-year-old a motorcycle? Give me a break. Anyway, my son was wearing my Harley Davidson jacket to school today, thinking he's a badass, right? And I had this conversation with him that every motorcycle out there wants to be a Harley. Every EV out there wants to be a Tesla, right? You've got your market leader being Harley Davidson or being Tesla. Everything else just wants to be that. So interesting to hear that his perspective there is, all these other EVs and none of them are Teslas. But that may be a Chinese contagion thing. I'm not sure.
Other competitors. And I'm not at the least bit concerned about Tesla. In fact, I think Tesla is going to 10x from here. And I said, well, Warren, do you mind elaborating on that thesis a little bit? Even though I knew what he's going to say. He's going to say, of course, what I've been saying for years, which is the value of Tesla is not really in the vehicles. If you've invested in Tesla because you think Tesla can manufacture cheaper vehicles than the Chinese manufacturers, well, that's not a smart decision. I mean, obviously, Tesla is not going to compete in producing vehicles versus the Chinese. They're going to make it cheaper. The quality is going to be maybe a little bit worse, but nevertheless, they're going to sell a lot of units. Tesla cannot compete in that game, and it's not really interested in doing so. Elon has a master plan for this company, which does not include Tesla outselling physical vehicles and BYD and other Chinese manufacturers. It's impossible. It's not. It can't be done. It's like the ambitious goal of Gorbachev to reform Russia and make it a democracy and a capitalist country. Obviously, that had no chance. I mean, this thing has even less chance of Gorbachev's endeavor back in the USSR. Now, there was also a lot of good in this earnings call if you pay attention and if you understand Tesla and if you have a little bit of an open mind, right? Obviously, it's very easy to look at the automotive revenues and the gross margin and the operating margin and look at all these things and say, well, Tesla as a car company is not doing so well. The thing is, as a huge Tesla bull, as you heard in the beginning, I'm not in disagreement with you. I think Tesla is not a really great car company. The car company aspect of Tesla is just there to deliver free cash flow so that Tesla can actually grow. It's designed to deliver revenues, to gather data in order to develop FSD. It has a lot of different uses, but the automotive business of Tesla is a stepping stone, right? Now let's talk about what's next. Number one, the best parts for me from this earnings call was the fact that Elon has gotten really good at speaking to investors and speaking to Wall Street. I think it was one of his best calls ever. And he seemed to go from being the self-saboteur, essentially sabotaging his own calls in the past, to actually delivering some stellar earnings calls. I'm having a tough time to decide who's gotten better at earnings call over the past 3 years. Is it Palantir or Tesla? And I think it's pretty much an even race at this point. And Elon delivered one of the best calls. His call etiquette was absolutely superb. So I'm enjoying seeing that happen, that evolution. But what's more interesting with Tesla is the fact that the FSD potential for Tesla is completely misunderstood. And Tesla is radically unrivaled as far as a FSD provider for large OEMs around the world, such as VW or Toyota or Stellantis. The thing is, people talk about competitors with FSD. And of course, there's different endeavors by different companies to develop some sort of an FSD, but it's basically a horse baloney. You need vast amounts of miles and data and so.
Did he say horse baloney? I love that. That's basically horse baloney. Okay, so I don't have full self-driving on my car. I had a couple trials that I've done, and those of you with Teslas, give me your perspective as well. And I hated it. Oh my gosh, I hated it. There were 2 instances where it did something that there was 0% chance I would ever do, and I was like, I'm done. I will never do FSD again. Once I was, I'm drifting. Hang on. My camera has this cool setting where you can do gestures, and apparently I did the gesture to move it. Hang on, let's fix that real quick. Let's turn off the gesture tracking. Let's put it back on position 1. Oh, that's better. Okay, so first time driving down the highway, and it indicates it's going to pass this car. We got lots of cars coming up on my left. This is on I-30 heading east from Dallas to Arkansas. And, you know, there's trucks going by, cars going by, and it puts on its blinker and it sees an opening about this big. And it's like, Lord, let's go. And I was like, oh, well, the car went, and I said, no, you don't. And I'm getting honked at by the car behind me and the car to the side of me. And I'm like, and my kids are looking at me like, Dad, what the hell did you just do? And I'm like, the car did it on its own. So I immediately disabled FSD after that point. And I'm like, no way. I don't know. A while later, several months later, got another free month of FSD. So I was like, okay, let's try this. So I'm taking my son to school one day, and we're driving down the road, and this car is turning left in front of me, and it slows down and then goes off the freaking road around this car and back on. And I'm like, I am not in that big a hurry where I need to go off-roading in my car because somebody's turning left. Again, disable, not doing that again. So FSD's got a long way to go for me. A long way to go. JC says, yeah, at the market, that's where we transact, and that's where you find the price, right? Leonidas says, lots of calculations, no personal tech taken. I love your perspective, Leonidas. Yorn, only price pays. JC, or in the case of Tesla, when they decide to lower the price, everybody just took a haircut regardless of what you paid. Yeah, no joke. Dave, Ross, I'm still in HSBC. You even rolled up the options once. Let's go to that real quick. I want to... Dang, dude. Ross, you're making so much more money than I am. Way to go, dude. Way to go. So I would have rolled around 52.11. That was one ATR up. The second ATR up right now is at 52.78. So in theory, you could definitely roll up again. By the way, excellent work on rolling up the options. I don't know if you've been around when I do that, but that is absolutely a ninja trick that I like to pull all the time. So good job, Ross. You get a gold star. Almost gone into AMD a couple of times, and then you heard me saying, don't catch a falling knife. No way, dude. Not unless you want to get your fingers cut off. The Angry Baker. No one ever went broke taking a profit. Well, they did if they took tiny profits and then let their losers run. Trust me, I had all of that when I was selling calls and selling puts. I got out of HSBC a little early, took a profit, and ran in a choppy market. Dude, yeah, the market is choppy right now, right? The market has been all kinds of all over the place, which is why I only had 2 trades in January. Come on, Chris, everybody's doing it. No, I will not. Cake seems to be very good. Yeah, actually, Cake was one that I covered in a Jeremy LaFay video. And of the ones he was talking about, that was one where I said, this looks really strong. If Cake has this sort of strength while the market's choppy, I said, that's what you want to see. Relative strength relative to the market's choppiness. The stock itself looking strong. 10, 20, 50 outlier trend template crossed up. Now you've got some support underneath it with that order block there. Yeah, Cake does look really sharp. Michael's here. Nico, any tips for longer term trading and investing? If I were a longer term trader, I would follow one moving average, and that moving average would just be the 50 period the 50 period EMA. Cake is a great example. When it crossed over the 50 period EMA, right? Closed under and then crossed over. You need to have the under first and then the cross over, right? So you're establishing your risk level at the lowest point. Watching that run, it's gone up 30, nearly 40%. Yeah, 43% since it's crossed under that 10 or that 50 EMA. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But there's a lot more to it than just that. Dookie pie. Nvidia's going up, my friend. Nvidia looks like it's going down to me, my friend. That trend template's going down. Price pays, you're right. LOL. Trying to make a point there, Dookie friend? I will ban the shit out of you, just so you know. Thomas, could you elaborate on a pit stop loss positioning? Seems obvious to lose. Okay. On stop losses, let's do this. I like to do half of an ATR. So one ATR is one average true range from where you're getting in, right? So for example, if I were to be in Tesla, let's just use Tesla for example. If I were to get into Tesla right now, let's make this bigger so you can follow along. All right, let's say the current price is 405.06 and we go half an ATR down. That's my stop loss right there. Now, what is ATR? ATR is this indicator down here. You can probably get it on every chart out there. And for Tesla, for example, it's at $21, meaning you could go $11 down. So 405 minus 11, that's going to put you at like 393. So you could give it 390, or you could give it $11 to find out if that trade is going to work. But the larger the ATR, the more volatility there is. And I'll show you what that means in just a second. So if you have a big ATR, you want to trade a smaller position. So let's compare that to a different stock, like, get out of the way. Let's compare that to Cake. We're just in Cheesecake Factory, right? Cake's ATR is 173. So if you were to get into Cake now, you would go half of 173, which is 86 cents. So you give it, whatever 86 cents is from there to run, right? But then you could trade a bigger position size because that ATR, that volatility is so much smaller. Ross, FSD's gotten so much better. I use it about 80% of the time. Dude, I love that autopilot, but the FSD, no way. I even saw a deer before I hit the... Oh, that's cool. Really cool. I also got on special and I only paid $2,000. Geez, it's like $54,000 at this point for FSD. You sold it for $345 credit. Way to go. Rolling up, Frizzers. Yes. So I didn't introduce myself. Hang on. My name is Christopher Yule. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009. This is where we save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. But before we start trading, let's continue on with this video of the day. And remember, only price pays. Be sure to stick around to see how we rank this out of 10 and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, now I've introduced myself, so let's go back to the slide deck. This slide here. So at each ATR that a stock moves up, I like to roll up my option. So let's go to HSBC again. So I believe when I got in, I was in the 47s. And as it goes up, 1 ATR, can you roll up for a credit? That's what you got to ask yourself. Most likely you can. If you want to roll out and up for a credit, that could change things, right? But if you get close to expiration, I'd like to roll out. If you can't, hold. So as one order, you would close the original long call, buy closer to the money, maybe $1, maybe $2, whatever. Just make sure you have liquidity, right? Same liquidity standards as you would have on anything else. It takes partial profits right now, right? You're actually, when you do this, you can keep the trade on and take partial profits. Pretty cool, right? And it keeps the trade alive. Something you can't do with stock, which is really, really cool. We can discuss that more later on for sure. JC, I just joined OVTLYR today. Yes, you are from Texas, the greatest state ever. Awesome, dude. JC, I'm so stoked to have you here. Rolling up a call. I mean, why would you do it if price goes up long call gain in value? What's the point of rolling up? There you go, right? You're going to take partial profits now. So Ross said he just got a, let's say, for example, Ross just sold it for $345 credit, right? If it was a $10 trade and he rolled it up for $345 credit, he just got $345 per contract back in his trading account to trade with right now. And he gets to keep HSBC on. Bro, how cool is that? Yeah, that's a huge win right there. Keith, how you doing? Order block at 57 for cake. Good cake. I don't have that order block. Mine starts at 60. So my settings for order blocks, I know y'all have asked me before. I'll pop it up real quick. So I have two. I put two on the chart here. I have one at 50 and one at 28. So I double up on the order blocks, but I don't see it. Dookie like no ban. Okay, no good, no good, no good. It's all good, my friend. I just don't want people coming in here and like trying to start something. Because I mean, I'm here to serve you, right? You look at this chart and you see a great opportunity, by all means, go for it. But what I'm telling you is I see a bearish trend. And if you're making money on it, awesome. Nathan, Brian made it. Hadn't seen Brian in ages. ESAC gives him a 3. Flavio FS? Okay. Hey, it's my company. Oh, hey. First letters of my name. First letters to my names. Okay. Oh, Flavio. Okay, I'll try to remember that next time, Flavio. If I don't, let me know. Keith Shannon. Mine goes back to 2021. Oh. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Yeah, I still don't see it. I mean, I've got this one here at 60 when it had that peak back in 2021, but I just don't have the same as you. That's okay. Don't stress. Mike, I'm not understanding how the trade stays alive because he's not closing the trade. He's still buying another option, right? So when you're rolling it up, you are selling to close the original option. So let's say that I bought the 50 strike originally. Now price has moved up $3 and I want to roll it up to the 53 strike. So I'm going to sell to close my original order, original position, but in the same order. So it would look like sell to close the 50, buy to open the 53 in one order. So I'm basically swapping positions. Well, not really swapping, but I'm just basically jumping up three strikes there. And because of that, I still keep the trade alive. It's still going to go with me because I'm in it. Tech, keeping an eye on IBM as it looks like a breakout to me. All right, here's what we're going to do. I again have to be short on time today, so I've got 11 minutes. What I'm going to do, I don't have any trades to put on today. The market is still trending higher. The market breadth has peaked and is starting to come back down. So I don't see anything that I'm going to put on right now. To Tom Nash's video, let's rank it real quick just because we can. And then we're going to spend the rest of the time just hanging out and you guys can throw stocks in the chat. How's that sound? I want to make sure that I take care of you. All right, so let's rank it. I'm going to rank it a 6. I'm going to rank it a 6 because for me, I feel like he did a good job of explaining. I actually learned a couple things from him, and he's not necessarily pumping he's not necessarily pumping Tesla, but that he's just bringing some data to the table here. So I see nothing wrong with this. Nobody gets a 7. No offense. Of course, be sure to share your stories in the Discord and hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you want to get the annual pass for 64% off, you've only got a couple days left. You've got today's the 30th, tomorrow's the 31st. 82 cents a day goes away at that point. So you might want to pick it up right there, right? All right. And of course, remember, only price pays. Now, with all that out of the way, let's close Tom and let's spend the rest of the time hanging out with you guys in the chat. So who was it talked about Nike? I'm scrolling up through the chat. I'm trying to find that Nike message. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't find the Nike message right now. Let's just jump into it. Oh, it's an NKE. NKE. All right, got some old notes on here. Let me remove that. So first thing I'm noticing, I'm in the past. I'm February last year right now. I'm seeing a couple order blocks that are still on there. Let's scroll over. Okay, so Nike's been in a pretty rough downtrend for a while, right? Nike's been trending down for at least 3 months, but we do have a bullish crossover like yesterday, today. Look at this. The very first time the 10, 20, 50 crosses back up is now-ish, right? I'm so glad he brought this up. This is exactly how people need to look at a chart, okay? If you're going to buy a stock that's been beaten up for a long time, that is what you want to see right there, okay? You don't want it to look like AMD, where it just continues to evaporate day after day. You want it to look like this. Now, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your backside here, right? I'm looking at this objectively. You've got your 10, 20, 50 that just crossed. It's got some big, powerful candles right over the top of it. And it's no longer in this downtrend, right? Let's say if you had wanted to buy it as it's been trending down for a long time. I mean, you can go way back. It peaked around December of 2023 and it's been going down and down and down. At any point in this time has not been all that great. A couple spots here and there, but waiting until the bullish crossover, instead of buying it at 78 on the way down, buying it at 78 on the way back up, that is a much stronger position to be in. And more than likely, you're going to see profits faster than if you bought it at 78 on the way down. So that's a good one there. I apologize for not remembering who sent that in. So yeah, for now, I mean, bullish trend, I like it. Tech says IBM. Whoa, that is a move. That is a move. That order block will disappear today. So you've got your 10, 20, 50 crossed up. You've got a tremendous move up. Now, Tech, watch out for this, right? There's something called the gap and go, and I forget what the other one is called, but it's gap and crap, basically, where it can gap up like this, and then if it doesn't keep going, watch out for like a very quick turnaround. Watch out for that. So if you're in IBM right now, dude, you nailed it. Absolutely. Watch for the gap and go. I'll give it 3 candles. If it doesn't continue on and it falters and maybe even starts to go down, I would cut it as fast as I possibly can. Nice one. Nathan says, how about Baba? Whoa, again. Nathan, great choice, right? Okay, another perfect example of waiting for the trend to reverse before getting in, okay? Because I'm telling you, there are probably people, oh my gosh, tell me order blocks don't work. Tell me order blocks don't work, please, in the chat. Tell me order blocks don't work, because you can't. Look at this. It went right up there, it kissed it. It said, and then it disappeared. That's exactly what happened here. Good gravy. All right. So anyway, went from 110, 105, 100, 95, 90. You know, all this way, people are saying, buy. You got to buy it right now. You're an idiot if you don't buy it on the way down, right? And then it got down as low as 80. Now we're on the opposite end of that. right? You got your 10, 20, 50, the outlier trend template pointing north, getting bullish as it goes. Boom, rocket ship. Nice work there, Nathan. I like that too. So ranks for the videos, 4s, 5s, 6s. Keith says, okay, LO, and SMR. I got 5 minutes. Ah, cool. So okay, LO, beautiful trend, but here's something that happened, right? A lot of people, or maybe not people, but institutions have set orders right here to sell. When price gets back up here, sell. So if you're holding OKLO and you have got up into this order block, I would absolutely start taking profits. This is what I would do. So this is my rule. That's the one and only time I'll day trade, is if I have a stock that does exactly what yours just did, which is beautiful trend running right up into that order block. I put it on the 5-minute chart and I say, okay, if the chart on the 10 and 20, if they never cross, I'm going to hold it, but get out at the end of the day. If they do cross, then I'm out. And this one here looks like it may have crossed. Got pretty close, but it's continuing to push higher. There's another 5-minute order block right there, by the way. So tremendous move right there. Outstanding work. I'd be closing my trade. All right, let's see here. SMR. It's got some room up to this order block here. It's got $5. I mean, 18, 20% move. I'd take it. You've got your 10, 20, 50, right? Now, it did have some weakness right here, but that's okay. It's still pushing higher. I don't know. I would be cautiously bullish on this one. Because like I say, it's got that, but you've got $4 or $5 on that. You've got plenty of room. Roblox, RBLX. Oh, dang. Dang. Roblox, might as well call that moon blocks. Might as well call that walking on the moon. Moon walks. I don't know. Dude, that's awesome. I got nothing to tell you other than like enjoy space. Dukey Pie also likes Baba. He says, okay, LO up 18% today. That was the one we just looked at, right? Okay, LO. Yeah, that's the one I would be closing today. Rick Briney. Sony got outlier buy signal today too. What's that? What is the oh, it's Sony. Okay. You tell me. How's that look? I don't see a problem with it. You got a 10, 20, 50. You got no order blocks in the way. You got earnings in a few days, which I always like to trade up into earnings. Yeah, Sony looks beautiful. Mr. J. Everything I lost with the NVIDIA dip, I've regained my losses to be now neutral just by following your rules. Hey, that's awesome. Glad to hear that, man. Sebastian. All right, Sean from the UK says ABG. I have 2 minutes, so I'm going to try and run through these. ABG. Oh, okay. Again, this is one of those gap and goes, right? If it can't maintain this gap up here for 3 candles, you need to start looking to drop that, dude. Drop it like it's hot, okay? Coach B wants to look at Walmart. Walmart looks great. It's awesome to see all these great stocks out there, right? I saw somebody in the comments like, oh, you're so bearish on everything. Not really. What I'm bearish on is YouTubers trying to tell you to buy shitty stocks. That's what I'm bearish on. But yeah, this looks great. And look at the difference here, right? Look at the difference in buying it at, oh, there's my timer. I got to run. Walmart's going to have to be the last one. Look at the difference in buying it at $94 on the way up versus buying it at $94 on the way down, right? You've got weeks. Maybe 94 is not the best. Let's do 92. Rather than buying at $92 on the way down, buying at 92 on the way back up. What a difference, right? What a difference. You save a few weeks of time, you save a few weeks of frustration, and you still get the beautiful upside to it. How cool is that? All right, again, apologies. I got to run. I see everybody in the chat right there, but you guys are freaking awesome. So do me a favor. Continue to put what you're trading in the chat. Let everybody know what you're trading out there. I think that's really helpful, right? Especially when you know what to look for, right? You outliers have killed it, by the way. Like the last several we went through, hang on, let's do my recently viewed. The last several we went through, Walmart, ABG, Sony, OKLO, Roblox, SMR, Alibaba, IBM, Nike. Which one of these wasn't awesome? Which one of these was not set up awesomely? You guys are awesome. Way to go. I am ultra, ultra, ultra proud of you. Now, be sure you come back tomorrow where we'll help you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. YouTube's going to click a recommended video, and I'd recommend you watch one of them. Have a fantastic day. We'll chat soon.